I'll ring it a little harder, but you know.
I thought I heard it, but I wasn't positive.
You probably didn't hear it. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of thy pilgrims' pride, from every mountain side, let freedom ring.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here today. Do I have a volunteer for an invocation or a motivational phrase?
Well, I'll tell you one story about seas. There's a gal that lives in Terrebonne. She ordered last year online. This year she went direct to me on the Redmond Kiwanis.org, and she has been so fun to talk to. I won't say her name, but her first name Patsy. And yesterday, when we delivered that to Terrebonne, she had said before we came, I just love seas. When I die, I hope I'm face down in truffles.
All right, that's pretty motivational. Thank you for sharing that. All right, you guys can be seated. Thank you. So it looks like we just have Nicole online. Nicole, I hope you can hear us.
Yeah.
I'll make the assumption you can.
I can hear you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with guests. I know we have a couple. Michelle's going to go ahead and introduce you guys.
Yes, our speakers today, Nick Moss and Ryan Doty with the Desert Storm football team here locally. So I'm excited to hear about all they have to talk about today. So welcome, guys.
Yeah, welcome.
Guest today, Ron Hagan from Michigan, drove all the way from Michigan this morning and is here, a past president of his Kiwanis Club there. Let's just welcome Ron Hagan.
Okay, we'll move into announcements. I've got a couple for you. Volunteer opportunities. We've got Earl, I'm going to let you have the floor for a moment, but talk to us about the food project.
Saturday is our pickup for the food drive. I will be at the Centennial Park from 10 to 11. And so if you have food in the bag that you can bring to me, please do that. If you can't bring it to me, find Roland and give it to him, or John and give it to him. We really want to appreciate everybody's participation in this program. Thank you.
Thanks, Earl. Michelle, go ahead.
So we have great news for you. I spoke with the Redmond Proficiency Academy Choir, and they are going to be singing for us on Wednesday, December 15th here. As in the past, we've invited our spouses to this event. So it's just, if you have a spouse that you'd like to bring, or a business partner or somebody else, please do.
Thanks. Seas Candy signups are still active. We can still sign up online to volunteer to sell some of that stuff. Hannah, do you have a quick update for us?
Oh, well, it's real easy to sign up. Just use the link in this week in Kiwanis. You know, the link is set every week. And then you click sign up, and then you kind of stab yourself as an account by putting your email in and stuff. Then from there, you click on the month of December. You can scroll down and see all the spots where we need.
Wonderful. Thank you. The last announcement I have is kind of impromptu, but next Friday morning, we are as a club hosting Coffee Clatter. It's kind of a current update, but Chris was looking at the calendar on the Chamber's website and they needed a host for next week. So we went ahead and jumped in. We're gonna talk to everybody about Seas Candy and use it as a potentially a membership growing opportunity. We're gonna host it at Wild Ride, and it's next Friday the 10th from 8:30 to 9:30. We would love for all of our members to be there. So if you're around and can get up and get out, please come. And more to follow on that, but I just wanted to give you guys that date now. Amber, go ahead.
I just have an announcement. So we have these super cute flyers for our coffee collaboration that is the fundraiser for Rimrock Trails. Last week I mentioned it. And Full Throttle's donating $1 for every drink that's sold. It's going to be on December 16th from 7 till 2. And we're looking for businesses to match the $1. If you only want to match up to say $25 or $50, whatever it is, you don't have to match the full amount. Last year, they sold 289 drinks during this time. So just let me know and I can get you some more information. And then the second quick announcement. Oh, did you want to type?
Oh, I just wanted to tell you guys about these posters because it's a little plug for Youth Career Connect. I have an intern from the Youth Career Connect out of the Ready program, and she made these for us. So just if you have a business and you have something to teach somebody, this is a great, the internship program is a wonderful way to do it, so.
Thanks.
And then the last one is we will be hosting the 6th annual REA Crab Craft Feed. Tickets are going to go on sale on December 14th at Wild Ride at 5 o'clock. Last year when we got there to sell the tickets, we had a line out the door and I think we sold out in 10 hours. And we're only selling 500 this year. So just mark your calendars and plan on getting your tickets. Thanks.
Thanks, Amber. Okay, let's go ahead and do our 50-50 raffle.
Would you draw the ticket? Well, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Michigan or Michigan State? Sorry.
Iowa.
No blue. Last three, 5, 6, 8. There we go.
Nice job, Don.
So let's move into happy dollars. I'll go ahead and.
Oh, yeah, John's got to shoot for this.
I'll walk through. I'm not eating. Okay, so let's go ahead and do happy dollars. And as I wander, I'll kind of explain what happy dollars are for our guests. So our club believes that there's far too many negative things going on in the world. So we try to celebrate the positives by donating $1. And that gives you an opportunity to share something positive that's happening in your life or in someone around you's life. So anybody want to start? Amber, I see you've got some money ready.
All right, so I'm going to put in 1 because I'm excited at Thanksgiving. I got to see my son flew in from Vegas. My daughter drove up from Northern California. And I was happy to see them go because they are tornadoes. I forgot how messy and noisy they are. So it was good to see them and good to see them go.
I have 3 happy dollars. Congratulations to the Ducks and the Beavers. Beavers are playing in a ball game for the first time in 8 years.
Really, really good.
Family, granddaughter Adley is doing marvelously well after a year from her bone marrow transplant. And a lot of you know about her. Also, son Jonathan and that family are doing extremely well, building a house in Eagle, Idaho, and hopefully we'll be closer, half a day's drive instead of 2. And things are well in New Zealand, and we're hopeful to visit this time next year with my daughter.
I express greetings from Jim Brown, and seen him for a while.
Wow.
Jim Brown saw him last week.
Where is he, Carl? Is he local?
He's in Cloverdale.
Yep.
And mostly retired.
I've got 3 happy dollars. Oregon State's #1 ranked men's soccer team on to the Elite 8 this week, playing home again. Had kids for Thanksgiving, had a house full, and it was fun all the time with them. We see an awful lot anyway. And then our daughter Leslie, the youngest, was 4-H leader of the year for Benton County.
enjoyed the Oregon State football game, but I was on the winning side, my wife wasn't. My wife touchdown. And the other dollar, maybe I should pay a fine because I got on TV for the club. Oh, yeah, at See's Candy, and I got interviewed, so if you haven't watched it, you should pay a fine.
It was definitely a finable offense until we brought up the Kiwanis. You did good. Did good.
I'll move back over here, Chris. I've got 5 for Hannah's help in doing my Christmas shopping for hand truck. And watching football from 9 a.m. to about 5 p.m. uninterrupted on Saturday. My Cardinals lost, but Michigan won.
Very happy for a fun Thanksgiving with my wife's family and enjoying the good weather. It would be nice to see a little snow.
Canada, did I see?
Yeah, I'll keep going on the siege. I am happy that the publicity is working great. Carl Trees, thanks to him, we got the TV interview with the press release, and they came on down. Have ads for 4 weeks in the Redmond Roundup front page, where's the Seas Candy? And then we'll be article in the Redmond Chamber newsletter, and just on, and we're having the walk through art walk. So we're gonna have all the posters out downtown, where people will see them. And I'll maybe think about going down there my own to walk around. And Truman, how about you? We got any of he's
Truman's happy to
He's happy. I'll explain what he's doing. He has taken over as coordinator and has a helper too, co-coordinator for pickleball at the senior center. Mondays at 1 o'clock. They have 3 weekly events closed down, and now they've got the indoor option.
It's a smaller court than normal, but it's great for beginners to practice and understand the rules better and so forth. So we particularly invite people who've never played but are curious about it to come in and watch us play and then try it themselves. We have loaner paddles, and you can buy anything. Just come on through the door with your mask on at the senior center and take your mask off while you play. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dottie.
Yeah, I like the Oregon game that the Ducks won. Go Ducks. Hope they can beat Utah Friday night. And I had a great Thanksgiving with my son and his family.
This is the dollar for Thanksgiving. We think we'll go down to Phoenix and see my son and my daughter. And we have a nice get together. This is a dollar for Michigan State beating 10. The same team that beat Michigan. And the last dollar is for John Bruce. Came back Saturday, got in late to the airport, late being 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There are no taxis available. I'm stuck at the airport. John was good enough to come and get me, my wife, and take me home. We really appreciate it.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna put $5 in. The first one's for Earl, because he made me happy to be able to do it. The next one, I take a 3-mile walk in the canyon every day. And it's nice that I can do it again. And it's nice for the weather. It makes me smile, but then I think about it shouldn't be this warm here this time of year. The other thing, our daughter and my granddaughter and my daughter's husband came to visit us for Thanksgiving, which made me happy. But then my granddaughter announced that she has a $100,000 scholarship, and she doesn't want me to mention the name of the college right now. That certainly made everybody happy. And I also am very happy that I have my outdoor decorations up. And why? Because as you get older, my wife has a 3-step rule on the ladder. I can't get above the 3-step. And so you kind of smile and think, is this going to be the last time I put this up, or I'm going to have to get somebody else to do it for me? And it's a kind of a 2-way street. And finally, I had a story about a toilet, but this is not the time to tell everybody eating. So
We're happy.
Is it inspirational?
I have a happy dollar because Ron's here, and Ron, it's a reminder that this is an international organization. I'm convinced that Michigan is an international port,
And so bottom line is that we are to be reminded that our tentacles spread far and wide, and it's great to have a Kiwanian from one community come to another community. I look forward to each of you welcoming him, that he might be a part of our club and share those experiences and secrets that we have from Michigan. And welcome.
Excellent. Oh, Mr. Duff.
I have $5. First of all, I had a great Thanksgiving. We had Thanksgiving at home for the first time without family, which was kind of interesting. It was our family, but friends. Family came the next day, which was kind of interesting, but kind of nice. And then Michelle and I both thoroughly enjoyed the Civil War game. So.
Yeah, when you have a divided house, right?
You speaking for her?
It's one of those things. Okay. Well, it is time. We'll have you gentlemen up to share with us about the High Desert Storm. We're excited to learn. Thank you.
The floor is yours. Hello, thank you for having us. My name is Nick Moss. I'm the Assistant General Manager of the Oregon High Desert Storm, the professional arena football team that we play right here at the Deschutes County Fairgrounds. This is our defensive coordinator, Ryan Doty, the man, the myth, the legend. All the players love him and want to run through that wall every time we play for him. So again, thank you for having us. We are new to the area. This is not a new sport. Arena football was created in 1987. It's been around a long time. It used to be on national TV, and due to all the financial stuff that goes with that, most of the teams have switched to YouTube and YouTube TV. We are the new team. Last year was our first season. For a new team, usually doesn't end well. You know, we have to create a lot. We have to find a roster of guys that usually nobody else wants, or a field, all the uniforms, all the helmets. So there was a lot to get done, and we accomplished a lot. We were one game away from the championship. We felt that we had a staff that had proven themselves at higher levels, that knew the game, and people within our organization dealing with marketing and signing these players and getting them here, getting them housed, keeping them fed, keeping them healthy. We just had a really good base. So we're really, really excited to go on into this second year, and really excited to grow more in the Redmond and the Central Oregon community, because we are Central Oregon's team. This area at one time had a minor league baseball team in Bend. It's a shame that the area doesn't have much anymore as far as anything that a blue collar worker can do. I myself would love to go ski on the mountain. It's fairly expensive. All this stuff around here is fairly expensive, but our games are reasonable. $10 for some good seats to bring the family out and enjoy football. If you don't know arena football, it is a shrunken down version of the game. High pace, high scoring on a 50-yard field with hockey walls. There is no out of bounds. That wall is undefeated, and you see guys fly over that wall, and if they go into that wall, we generally drag them off the field. So this is a very, very intense game. It's awesome because fans can get really, really close. And when you see a 6'6", 340-pound man run into a hockey wall full speed, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So we're excited to get out with the community and build this, and we want to be an arena brand like some of the great teams like the Arizona Rattlers or the Iowa Barnstormers or the Omaha Beef, teams that have been in their community for 30 plus years, supporting all kinds of people and all kinds of community endeavors. We are building another championship type of team. The last 3 weeks for me has been a lot of scouting, traveling, and finding key players that we want to bring into our community, that we can be proud to bring into the community, that will represent our team to the fullest. So I thank you guys so much for having us here. Our team gives opportunities to guys that we feel were missed. There are over 1 million high school football players. There are over only 71,000 of that million go on to play college football. Only 850 get to go and try to be in the pros, and that's NFL, CFL, Canadian Football League, and Arena Football League. Only 850 out of that 71,000. So we know that there are players that are missed. And so we find these players, and we are happy to say of our roster of 25 players, 12 of our players we've lost to higher leagues, the Canadian Football League and bigger teams in the Arena Football League. And that shows what we are doing is working. And also the team that we lost to that won the championship had 2 players go to the Seattle Seahawks. So this is the type of talent that we are bringing in to the area. And it's just a fun atmosphere, affordable, and we just want this to grow. And we want to bring a champion. There's only one reason to do this. We want to bring a championship banner into that arena, and I need a championship ring. I think that's it. I have to go to these scouting things with the champs, and they bring their champ rings, and that's why we do it, is to win that championship and represent this area the best we can. So I'm going to turn it over to Ryan Doty, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, and just to add to that, the championship thing is obviously a big goal of ours, for the players, for the coaches, for the community. But one of the great things about this is our ability, the endless ways that we can get involved with the community. So I work and I coach at high school level too, at Mountain View in Bend, and then at Ridgeview in Redmond. And it was great to be able to involve some of those high school kids with the season, our professional season last year, whether they're coming out and helping with the chains, helping us film, they get to visit our locker rooms and meet the players and things like that. So just to see those kids light up and see these professional athletes and be able to interact with them, and the type of guys we're bringing in are high character athletes that are working really well with the kids. Another thing that was great was we got to do a youth camp, so a High Desert Storm youth football camp this last year, and it was a pretty big success. We had a lot of kids out there, and just to see them interact with the young kids and get them inspired to be active and to be outside and to fall in love with the sport. That was something that, those are the things that I love about it, is being able to involve those kids. And we just want to keep that camp going, make it bigger and better, more and more kids involved. We can even get high school kids out there to help coach along with the professional athletes. Being able to bring younger kids in and involve them in the actual game process during half times and things like that. We like to get different events for them to do, whether it's, all the kids get to race, or they're throwing a football through different hoops and things like that. It's really fun to see those kids involved that way. Also our cheerleaders, our dance team, it started with just maybe a handful of girls, and it's up to 22 girls now. And they're really good about, they've been getting out in the community as well. They just were at it was a parade there, yeah, in Redmond. And then I think they're set to be at the Christmas parade in Bend this coming weekend. And they are also helping out the younger kids by bringing young dance groups in at half times, and they can perform in front of all of our fans and things like that. So inspiring young kids that way as well. I just finished up my degree at OSU Cascades, and so finding ways to stay involved with the college there by allowing opportunities for internships and things, whether they want to be, graphic designers for flyers, or coming in taking video of the games and doing some promotional stuff for us, or stat keepers, things like that. And so really focusing on trying to get more people involved that way, and hopefully eventually internships turn into paid roles for those people that are interested in doing things like that. I'm sure I'm missing a few other things, but like at the end of the day, like I said, there's so many opportunities for various parts of the community to be involved, and that's kind of our goal, is to just really get the name out there, get the word out there, show them that we're doing good things, volunteer opportunities in the community. We like to get the players out there, and we're looking at setting some stuff up with Ron McDonald House and some other places. I recently started working with Friends of the Children. Some of you may have heard of it. It's a local nonprofit that works with kind of underprivileged families or at-risk youth. And so planning on having a section for them, those kids and their families at the game, and also bringing some of the athletes in to help mentor some of those kids and to get involved that way as well. So super exciting stuff going on. It was a great first season. Nick and I, amongst the rest of the staff, have just really been trying to get the word out, and it's kind of why we're here today, just to let you guys know what it's all about. And we really thank you for your time and allowing us to come to speak with you. And we're looking forward to hopefully having you guys at some of the games. So thank you. Questions? Yeah.
So how was your attendance this year?
So we averaged about 1,200. And then every time we would play our rival, which ended up being Idaho, it was 2,200.
What's the capacity?
Capacity is 4,000. So we were at half. You know, Governor Brown said you could be half capacity. And that was a little nerve wracking at the beginning of the season because, you know, it was like we could do half capacity and then we couldn't do half capacity. And then I think with like 3 days left, we were able to do half capacity. So we're hoping year two, we want to pack that out. Yes, go ahead.
I'm just always intrigued at how much these folks make. I mean, they said they're guys that have had regular jobs, I guess, and then they come.
Yeah, like we had a guy last year that played for the Cleveland Browns. So he's made some money in his day. It really depends on what position you play and how you contribute to the team. You know, that's about
it's alignment, you know.
So I mean, generally they're gonna get $150 to $200 a game for the athletes. I think the big passion for them is trying to get to the next level of football. So with that film and with us, you know, kind of helping them with their recruiting process, and also, you know, their we
housing, we feed them.
Yeah,
we training. You know, take care of their boo-boos, all that stuff. They're fully insured professional athletes.
So what about economics for the equipment and advertisement and all that stuff? You have a big number there.
Yeah. So that we are very happy to say that we are not in debt after our first year. There was a lot of that went into buying turf. Turf is very expensive. Hockey walls are $10,000. You know, we had to have 30 helmets. Those are $500 to $700 a piece. Uniforms, they rip all the time. We had to have spare. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. So I'm very happy to say with just the short amount of time we had and COVID hitting us with businesses not really wanting to work with us because, you know, they just got through COVID and maybe they didn't have a little extra money for advertisement or anything, but we made it through and we are very happy to say year two, we don't have to buy a field. Year two, we don't have to buy a wall. And so we are not, we're straight, we're good. So we're very happy about that.
Do you have a major sponsor?
You know, we just have a bunch of, who would you say our major sponsor was? I would say Bigfoot Beverages was probably one of our bigger ones. T-Mobile. Yeah, we are trying to local, you know, there are some sponsors we do have throughout our league that, you know, they sponsor every team like T-Mobile. But generally it is local. The Hideaway was one of, they fed our players every Thursday. Our players went down there. The fans could go down there and have a burger and fries with their favorite players. One of my favorite stories is a dad said that he went to go pick up his kids and they were playing football at the school or the park or wherever they were. And they weren't playing, you know, they weren't Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. They were Tony Peters and, you know, they were our players, you know, and that just, that I was like, really, that's unbelievable. And to see that, like with our youth camp, I didn't expect that to be that many kids our first year. And to be honest, our players are kids. They're 22 years old, straight out of college. They don't really know. But and to be honest, a lot of these colleges use them up as athletes, and they give them a degree that they really can't really use much, and they still have a lot of tread to kick on those tires. And you know, fortunately, 2 guys out of our league made it to the NFL. Are they on the practice squad? Yeah, but that's $10,000 a week. So that's pretty good money. So,
and I think just to add to that is with the sponsorship, we are so fortunate enough to just, because you know, feeding these players on a weekly basis, that's hard too. And so we were lucky enough to have some great places locally that were allowing us to come in and sit in there and get meals once a week, you know, various pizza places.
Abby's was
Abby's,
awesome.
yeah, Abby's was awesome. In Redmond and in Bend, and so that was great to be able to have that. The housing is probably the most difficult thing for us to accomplish. Obviously, we all know that it's not an easy issue around here for housing, and so we started out with all of them at the Super 8, and then eventually made some connections to where that we were able to rent a couple homes for these guys to stay for the season. But yeah.
Yep, in back, go ahead.
Just when is the season?
So we start in March. So training camp is, I believe our first game is March 8th. Training camp, we start in February. We will bring in 40 guys into the area, and before March, we'll cut down to 25.
How many games?
Well,
16, right? So.
it was a little different because of COVID for us last year, but I believe we're trying for a 12-game schedule. And a new team has came into our conference, our league, San Diego. So we will be having that travel cost on top of all the.
Where are all those other teams located?
Yeah, so Reno, Boise, Wenatchee, Yakima, and us and San Diego. Yeah, and so what had happened was the Arena Football League was a massive national brand, had teams all over the nation, and it folded because of travel costs. When the Spokane Shock have to travel to New York to play the Dragons, and then go back to Spokane, and then next week go to Jacksonville to play the Sharks, the travel cost just decimated these teams. And so when that folded, what you've seen was an upcrop of these teams where it was a little more regional, where we could pack these guys into a bus or a couple vans and get them to our destination. You know, with San Diego, we will have to fly, but you know, that's one. So you will see that there are many arena football leagues in the United States now because the Arena Football League has dissolved. And you know, we're the Northwest League, there's a Southwest League, and so on. So you know, we're growing. We are here in Wyoming, and the new team in Billings, Montana wants to join our conference. So this is the league has been around since 2017. And we're just excited to see where it's going. Yeah.
I'm interested how you guys got involved.
Yeah, we're the local guys. So I do radio. I've worked in radio for the last 10 years. And I used to work locally. And then I was hired by a company that they have 8 stations, and I have a nice little studio at my house, and I'm able to do radio from beautiful Central Oregon, not in Central Oregon. You know, I'm a football guy. One of the things that made me sad was there isn't nothing here in Central Oregon for me. You know, I'm not a skier. I'm not a mountain biker. Do I go out and walk the trails with my dog? Absolutely. And I love all the scenery and stuff, but I'm from Los Angeles. I used to go to Dodger games, Rams games, Laker games, and I miss that. And that is something I miss raising my kids here. It's been awesome, but that's something we've had to travel to Portland. And, you know, it's a shame. So when this cropped up, I was like, oh, how can I be involved? And with my background, I was like, well, I would love to be the PA announcer. I'd love to go touchdown Storm. That sounds awesome, right? So I went to, you know, to the interview process, and they were like, hey, we have a guy already that was 30 years baseball announcer at Cal Poly, which is a great baseball school, and boy, he has a golden voice. And I was like, oh, you know what? I already have my season tickets. I'm good. Like, I'm good. And they kind of read over my resume, and they're like, hey, you find talent, right? For your radio station. I said, yeah, I find talent. I build talent. I fire talent. You know, all of it. And my son is, he's a pretty good football player in the area and getting recruited by some schools. And they knew that. And I have a football background as well. And they were like, look, we're looking for some internal pieces, and ended up sitting down and watching some film on some guys, and they kind of questioned me about my knowledge. And it was about 2 days of watching film with the coaches, and they were like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. And they offered me the assistant GM job, and I was like, what football guy doesn't want to go and pick try to help pick players and find players. And so it's been really fun. It's fun to wake up and be like, oh, I got to do some football today. So.
And similar to Nick here, it's just the love of the game. And so I moved out to Central Oregon 8 years ago, and I'm from Corvallis, so go Beavers. And over there, I was involved, played and coached in adult semi-pro football for 7, 8 years. And when I moved to Central Oregon, there was no football for adults. There was no flag football. There was no tackle football. And so I started the Central Oregon Outlaws. And so we're doing the semi-pro football for 6 seasons in the Bend, Redmond area. And then I also started some other flag football stuff for adults. And so just my involvement with adult football in Central Oregon, my name was kind of passed around to the coaches that were coming in for the High Desert Storm. And then also I've known Nick I've coached his son since middle school up through some high school football too. And so with his involvement and my name kind of getting thrown into the mix, they decided to bring both of us on board.
As soon as his name dropped in a meeting, I was like, that's the guy. I was like, that's the guy. Just call and get it done. So, and then he's been promoted to defensive coordinator. So we're moving on up. Yeah.
Josh was asking me if you have a local tryout.
Yes, yes. Yeah. No, we've had some funny local tryouts. We've had some guys show up and get through about two sets of knee highs, and they're like, oh, that hurt.
We did have some local tryouts.
Yes, we kind of a funny story. Last year we had two local tryouts, and this kid showed up, and my first thing is when they start walking on the field, I'm checking body types, right? Like, do you check the boxes body wise? And so I'm going through, and he was decent, right? And then he ran, and I had to have him run again because the grass where we were running was really long and uneven, and he was running NFL running back, cornerback speed. I'm talking 4.3 on grass. Like I'm going. I haven't at this point, I'm still a rookie at this. I hadn't had anybody run by me at 4.3. And I was like, wow. And so we signed him right off the bat. And his experience was he grew up out here in Prineville, and went off and didn't get a whole lot of looks in college. So he had to go the JUCO route. And instead of continuing football, he got a better opportunity to go run track in college. So he went and ran track, and he regretted it. The whole time he just was like, I should have just took that lower offer and went and played football. And so when he showed up, we immediately signed him. And then he showed up for the second training camp looking completely different with a different style of hair and everything. And I thought I found 2 of them. So I signed him twice. So that was my first mistake, but he ended up becoming our #1 running back, had some offers to go play at some bigger teams. The new Las Vegas team was owned by the owners of the Golden Knights. They're building an arena. They took our quarterback, they took our safety, they took our receiver. But he had an offer to go there, but he wants to be able to play in front of his grandparents. So that was one of the happiest calls when he called me. He's like, I decided I'm gonna stay. I'm like, oh, we got a running back. We're good. And mark that on the thing. We got a running back. Now we just need to find his backup. So we're doing that as we speak. But we're bringing in some guys that's another thing is it's my job to vet these guys. Some football players can be knuckleheads. Absolutely. I take extreme pride in vetting these guys because I have a daughter in this community. So I'm about bringing in guys that could have a chance to marry one of our daughters, right? So I'm checking out their social medias. I'm calling old coaches, old teachers, because I'm trying to because we are still a small community and these guys stand out. I mean, these guys are walking billboards for our team, really, and the companies that work with us. So it's just been really exciting. We're excited to be here, and we wish Keith could be here, but it takes 2 of us to do what Keith can do. So.
What's the time commitment for the players? Is it something where, their schedule's pretty packed? Are they able to work side jobs?
It kind of depends on, like our quarterback couldn't, right? And we had some positions where they just couldn't do that. And then we have some positions where they do go get side jobs. So one of them, in fact, I'm pretty happy to say that we had some guys from humble beginnings come to our team, where I come from humble beginnings, but they would tell me their stories and I would just be like, wow, you know, geez, I'm so happy, because that's what changed me when I seen Central Oregon. Was like, wow, this is where I want to raise my kids. And, you know, 5 of them stayed and they got jobs and they rent homes now. And in fact, one of them, his wife and his baby just came here, and to come from where they, you know, I'm just thinking of the future of that kid. Like, he could have been raised in Memphis, Tennessee. Like, you know, there is maybe some opportunities there, but not so much as there is here. And so I'm just really happy to see that maybe we're changing some lives and some futures for families. And that's what it's all about for me.
And we do encourage them to go out and, you know, work part-time and kind of, you know, make their way that way, because it can get hard for them if they're not, you know, they get their meals from the team but they don't have a lot of extra, you know, the $200 game check to go out and do things and stuff. So if they're passionate about, hey, I want to go get a job, we're willing to work with them around their schedule so that we can do both. We can play football and they can still make it a little better with it.
Yeah, we had a couple guys that were like, I can't make it to practice tonight, I gotta work late. We're like, well, we'll see you, you know?
Well, to speak to the character of the guys, there were a couple occasions I had lunch out at the pump house in Terrebonne, and there were two of your players that were working there. Both excellent.
George was a quarterback at Fresno State, beat USC in the Coliseum. Like, he's playing big time ball now. We lost him. He's been such a help to my son, because my son's a senior and, you know, being recruited, and these coaches will tell you what you want to hear, right? And he's been a great ear to my son to kind of cut through all that, find out where you really belong. And then Joe, he got signed to Las Vegas as well, and he trains kids back home, like, you know, so that's where I really vet the you know. And then I'll be honest, training camp, we did have a couple knuckleheads. Did those guys make our team? No. So we sent them, you know, right. We are a small community. They're right out of college, but we did have a veteran that was my age. He had played at every level of football and was like, I got one more left in me. And walking off the field at the end of the season, I was like, yeah. But then he called me, he's like, my gas tank is filled, I'm ready for season 2. So he will be our 41-year-old defensive lineman, and he's probably 6'5". He's a big man. He's a big boy. Yeah.
So do you show them the film of replacements when you start the season?
Yeah, I think we should. I think definitely we should do that.
That's a great movie.
It is a great movie, yeah.
Yeah. We're skipping film today, that's why.
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
As you were explaining your relationship with other teams, I was thinking of baseball, which is I know a little more about than arena football. And are you something like a 1A team level, and then you could move up 2 more steps?
So the biggest arena league in the nation is Indoor Football League. And they have the Iowa Barnstormers, the Kurt Warner movie that's coming out there in that. Okay. Arizona Rattlers, they were like the bottom league to the Arena Football League, but when the Arena Football League dissolved and those teams decided to stay, they all kind of went to the IFL. So yeah, we are probably the Division II of Arena League. And that's why, you know, we lost so many players, but that's the game, and that's what we're doing. These guys are doing it for film. Right.
But you're not owned by a bigger team, a bigger league team.
No, our owner is just an old player that Arena Football helped him, you know, get into a community and, you know, get a job and build a home and start a family. And he was like, Boise needs a team. And so he started Boise, and it took off. And he'd always kept his eye over here on Central Oregon and knew that we had the venue and the population. And I'll be honest with you, Redmond is a better football town than Bend. We get a little more better football response from Redmond than we do Bend. But he decided that Oregon needed a team. Now, there was arena football in Portland. Portland isn't a football town. You know, it's just hard. There's not enough blue collar, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but it's not a football town. So those teams never succeeded in Arena League. And honestly, Arena League, the teams that you're starting to see succeed are the smaller cities. They're not, you know, the metropolitan area of the state. They're the smaller areas. So, you know, kind of like Green Bay. I think Green Bay has a pretty small population.
That's awesome. Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Part ways here.
Maybe a Kiwanis social out there.
I love it. Let's do that. We can make that happen.
Yeah. Especially if John makes the team.
If John makes the team. Michelle can coach the cheerleaders.
I need a fullback.
Careful what you
Well, that is all we have for you guys today. Did I do the joke?
No,
I didn't do
Oh,
it.
that'd be just fine.
No, you gotta hear the joke. I don't even remember if it's funny.
Everything was going so well.
I know. I knew there was something missing. Okay, what's the difference between a hippo and a zippo? You all know what a zippo is, right?
Lighter? No.
Wait.
Okay, I mean, essentially, you're right. One is really heavy, the other's a little lighter. With that. That's about an Earl level. Please tip your servers, guys.
Oh, you have a good week. Yeah.